Okay, I think the recording has started. So, yeah, if you haven't, okay, if you haven't seen like today's uh, topic, it is Huawei rise, fall, and rise again. Yeah, I know it's an like different topic on my channel today, but I think it's important. It's important to know different company, different aspect of the companies of the like major industries, right? And it's a like definite case study for all of you to see, right? First we will start about the Huawei rise. Yeah, classic. As you can see, Huawei was an like a PCB manufacturing company, right? And it enters in the market in late 2010 or like 2009. And then you can see the market share percentage of the Huawei, which has been a like J curve, right? A U curve or J curve, what you want to say. It is absolute bonkers, going up every year and increasing by, if you want to see, 41% year on year growth. It's like nearly 50%, and that's like unimaginable growth in an unsustainable market business, right? Because you need a lot of innovation, a lot of manufacturing that China has, right? Manpower, source, supply chain, and everything, right? Okay, so how you how Huawei sorry how Huawei like have in the 2018 in the 2019 first quarter, Huawei market share has gone up to become second, right? It has crossed Samsung, it has crossed Apple, and it becomes second smartphone shipment market share in second, and just beneath the Samsung one, right? As you can see here, first Samsung with 73 million units sold, and second Huawei with 54 million smartphone units sold, right? You can see the year-on-year growth of the 2019 I'm talking about. You can see it is all 2018 2019 before the Huawei ban, right? You can see their like major source of income uh, before all of the smartphone, all of the PCB thing was the telecom business, and their revenue was like, if you see, it's going up forever, right? The difference between Nokia, Ericsson, and Huawei is like of 7 to 8%, right? And then what Trump did, just ban Huawei. Huawei does not have to do any business in America. It has no rights to use any US tech companies access or like any services offered by them, and has no access to semiconductors, right? The Nvidia, Intel, or any other, right? Then on the basis of national security risk, right? Huawei, no use of Google, no chips, and then comes the fall, right? You can see the fall in the global market smartphone shipment estimates. In the 2019, it was on the second place, and then it's on the fourth place. But if you are seeing the Xiaomi rise in the same current period, right? The Xiaomi is still the third highest smartphone, like the brand, right? You can see from like 17% to 4%. You can see Huawei at the 4%, and the at end of quarter first 2021. If you see the quarter first of 2019, it was around 17%, right? 11 to 17% in one quarter. That's an unimaginable of like smartphone in the smartphone sector. It was like a big blow up, right? You can see the 17% to 4%, and now it has become the sixth largest, right? Behind Samsung, Apple, Xiaomi, Oppo, Vivo, and Huawei. Why? Because of the ban, because of the USA restriction on its certain kind of chips, its access from Google, it's everything, Google Play services, right? You can see The infrastructure which has been built by Huawei in the US has been like completely shattered, and you can see minus 1.5% in the 2021 year, right? If you can see, there is a minor pullback in the year of 2021, which you can see 2020 and 2021, right? Right after the ban. Okay, so yeah, what Huawei did, it innovate, right? Huawei rise again. So you can see the spending of the Huawei in the R&D by this chart, right? In the 2014 it was around 15%, which is close to uh, okay, right. This is the R&D in Chinese yuan, right? 100 billion and 150 billion. It has touched 150 billion in 2022, and like any currency it is, but 150 billion and 25% is beyond any range, right? You can see after 2019, what they have done, they have innovated in every aspect. They have higher their R&D spending, and that's what it is showing in this chart. First, their enterprise business was like a major enterprise, or not consumer business was a no. Okay. So career business was a major source of income, but then they diversified, and in 2018 their consumer business was the biggest business, right, till the 2019. But then because of the tariffs and the like the restrictions, they have segregated their incomes, right? As you can see, their income have definitely lowered, but what they have is marginalized into different things, marginalized into different aspects. And Huawei is the number one uh, in the relative Huawei is number one related to revenue among top research vendors, right? So what it is showing this graph is how these top tech companies have spent, right? And there is also one thing I cut in between is Huawei is the only company that is not listed, right, in this. So yeah, it is 98% wholly owned by the people working in, and that's the best thing I think Huawei has done, right, to like own it. Okay, so this is a very uh, like a beautiful chart that you want to see. Okay, first China, second USA, third Europe, fourth India, and you can see the difference: 22, 32, 25, 7,000, 92,000, right? 92,000 in a single year. You know, in a single year, how big it is to see.
感觉像是拿一本书，但其实打开
And what that 92,000 do? This is in front of you. Can watch the whole video. Can see the innovation. How an iPad with like a foldable thing can have a keyboard, can have a screen, can have a add-on keyboard, right? Can be tilted in any way, can be folded. The best thing, the behind, right? So this is the one aspect of Huawei. How Huawei did these things. How Huawei uh, like innovate, innovate in different things. In have a different aspect in like if like if Trump has to ban Huawei is to because of the rivalry of the Apple, then Huawei said, okay, let's be fair, we will destroy your Google, Meta, Google, Tesla, Nvidia, and um, Microsoft services, right? And you can see in the later part of the video how they have just worked upon different things, but getting the core audience of China to buy it, right? You can see US ban chips, Huawei just says, okay, we will build it ourselves. And now it has become one of the largest chip manufacturers, right? In the 2019, when the US technology in the Washington said no, then it has invested in more than 60 companies, and now it has become the world's fifth largest chip maker with a 3% share of the global chipset. Um, Huawei A900 chip is very good, right? It's global time, so it is Chinese, right? And this is how they are showing. Huawei is just ripping apart the sanctions, right? So what they have done over the time is just diversify their business, right? If I show you how diversify their business is, one they are in infrastructure, and see the year-on-year growth. The least is in infrastructure, but the consumer, the digital power, intelligent automotive, which is a business that they have been working on for a long time, which is like Harmony OS for cars, right? Uh, which I have been showing you. It is in 474% growth, right? From 4,588 to 26,000, right? You can see here their consumer business is also growing, right? 38% is not a small number if you are like business guy, you know. So what they do is they integrate the Harmony OS in the Audi cars or any other car, the EV cars mainly, which are being sold in China. So right, they earn money through the ownership. When the guy buys a car, they get an even share revenue, right? Even share of revenue. So okay, what you can see is this 2024 quarter sale, and this is 2025. You can see the Huawei 28.5% growth, right? And Honor is also a Huawei company which has now been segregated. But as you can see, Apple has been like 15.7 and now 14.1. It's not a big leap of faith, but as you can see, the technology is made by Huawei. You know, it will be number one on one day, right? It is number one right now. If you see, it is in China. It is number one, right? So Huawei sits on top in the like telecommunication business for a long time, and it is still running with a like fair amount of like I have to show you. Okay, okay, I don't have that, but there has been a steep curve, a steep curve between um, the telecommunication of other brands and the Huawei, right? So what it is for like Huawei future, because we have seen Huawei's rise, Huawei fall, and Huawei rise again, and now we will see Huawei future, right? The R&D is increasing year on year, with their profit also increasing, right? They have like in if you see in 2019 they have started CCD technology, so you can see if they are 6 years ahead of everyone, then they have absolutely developed the technology, right? They have developed the technology. And with the telecommunication business CAGR is 8.2%, there is no stoppage of money, because if the USA has banned them, that has not been settled in that only Europe will not use, only India will not use, only any other country will not use, but they have been using them, right? Europe is using them, Africa is also in heavy demand, and many other countries have been using their infrastructure, right? Telecom infrastructure. So, but if you see the top 10 best-selling smartphone, you can see there is only one Chinese company, right? No Huawei and no other company, only iPhone, right? Because of the major Apple sheer dominance, right? Apple and Samsung. So they have to back up their game. Huawei cars, one of the finest designs, one of the finest FSD full self-driving car I have seen, right? If you go and see on YouTube, they are just mind-boggling. They are what they are offering at a price is like if there is a thing of $100, then they are offering that same technology in $30, right? So this was a small video which I was showing you. So what you can see is that it is definitely coming, and it will automatically like come from parking or can park itself automatically, right? Okay, so they have like Google has said, okay, we will not provide you our Google Play services, but Android is open source, so they can build upon their OS on that, right? They have built uh, an integrated OS with the like the smartphones, smartwatches, their earbuds, their iPad, their like pads and laptops, right? There's a short video. Yeah, this was like a very famous thing. If you go and search Huawei on like X, that's the like first video you will get, right? It's because of the integration between the Huawei's phone. Okay, this is the premium trifold phone by Huawei. If you haven't seen, go and see its video, its unboxing. It's like different beast altogether, right? So yeah, it's a small image that I have seen and I laughed, right? Because I don't think Apple will ever like meet the uh, criteria of that level of R&D. They do R&D, but not will take a high risk of launching a trifold, right? Never. And you can see their S900 chips are just like solding so good, right? They are like not as good as H100 Nvidia, but they are 60%, right? As you can see, Nvidia stocks falling down, and with Harmony OS, Google stocks also falling down. And so, what I was telling you in the like the first part, that okay, US bans Huawei because of Apple. Now, what Huawei does is they are coming back and just chipping in the business of US major companies like Nvidia, Google, Tesla, right? FSD versus ADS, you can see. So I think no effect. And yeah, a book recommendation for today will be How to Live with Statistics. It's a very good book. You can also see like a paperback with a green color, and it is also super efficient. It is 9 or 10 page, and you can get in 9 or 10 bucks. So yeah, because Chinese are very good with statistics, right? So this is the video. I think 17-18 minutes is a whole long video, but yeah, if I'll I'll have to do I'll do again of the major countries. But the next video which is coming of the is the geopardy of Indian economy. This is the one timer video, but yeah, we will see how it goes and like how well the video will be, right? Have a nice day.